This morning, we got 2 more new pieces of media from the official Wheel of Time account. There's a short promo teaser with a couple new shots to unravel, and another new Season 2 scene, this time with Nynaeve, which I'll show in its entirety and break down. So like and subscribe, and let's jump right in. This is Unraveling the Pattern. I'm Lauren. This video will contain full show spoilers for the first season of the Wheel of Time, as well as full book spoilers through Book 2, The Great Hunt. There will be moderate spoilers and speculation related to promotional materials for Season 2, including book spoilers for anything past what's been shown in Season 1 and in these Season 2 promos. As always, if you wish to remain completely spoiler-free, this video might not be for you.
There are many paths to walk through the night. The last battle's coming.
The whole world will be ours.
We've now gotten 2 of these in 2 days, and each was followed by a short scene from Season 2. It makes me wonder if we'll be getting more promos and scenes like this every day, or at least a few more times before Season 2 releases on September 1st. There are quite a few shots in this that we've already seen and I've broken down in other videos. If you don't want to miss any of my other trailer or teaser breakdowns, I've got a playlist of all things Season 2 that you can watch right now. I'm especially proud of my Season 2 story speculation video, which I made before we got the official trailer. But my trailer breakdown is also jam-packed with lots of interesting details. Anyway, there are only a few new shots that I could see in this teaser, and one of them is just in the background and hard to make out. The most obvious one is this awesome look at Varen, played by Mira Sayal, channeling flows of fire. She's wearing a dark brown dress with a white shirt underneath, and she has this thing hanging from a necklace. There was some discussion about what this could be when we got the Varen clip a few months ago. I believe it's some sort of monocle that helps her read things, and possibly shows her things that others can't see. What do you think this object on her necklace is? Anyway, this clip of her makes me more confident that she's the one channeling the flows of fire that are shown on the sword of the mystery man in the trailer who's stabbing a Fade. I made a whole video theorizing about who this man could be, and it looks like I might be right. My theory is that this is Tomas, Varen's warder. Of course, this could just be a trick, and this shot of Varen channeling fire might not at all be related to this next shot of the man with the flaming sword, but like Fox Mulder, I want to believe. I'm not sure if these 2 shots of Lan fighting 2 Fades are all new. There is a shot similar to this in the trailer, but I think we get a little more of it here. We know from an interview with Daniel Henney that he will be fighting 2 Fades at some point in the show in Season 2. I talk more about this in my other trailer breakdowns. The only other new clip that I noticed is in the background here. It appears like someone is peeking around a column or something. I think it could be Selene. And then we get this new scene, which likely comes from episode 3 of Season 2. I found this clip on a site that put a title in the top left corner, but it's much better quality than the Twitter version, so I figured it would be best to show this version of the clip. I also added in my own subtitles, just like I did with the Logain clip from yesterday. Let's watch it.
What are they?
Terran Grail.
What do they do?
Many things, child. They are from before the breaking. Made during a time when women could create objects from the One Power itself. Some Terran Grail are made to work by Aes Sedai, like this one. Others do what they do simply with the presence of any woman who can channel.
We don't know why they were made. Most we've learned at great cost to avoid. Many Aes Sedai have been killed or burned out learning that.
And you want me to just walk through them?
We know what this one does. It will bring you face to face with your greatest fears, and what those fears are for you to know. And you need to tell no more than you wish.
So, what, I just walk through one arch and out again? 3 times through and it's done?
If you wish to boil it down that far. Yes.
2 things we will tell you now that no woman hears until she's in this room. The first, once you begin, you must continue to the end. Refuse to go on, and you will be put out of the tower with enough silver to support you for a year, but you will never be allowed back.
Second, to seek, to strive, is to know danger, and you will know danger here. Some women have entered and never come out.
This is your last chance, child. You may turn back now, right now, and you will only have 1 mark against you. Twice more you'll be allowed to come here, and only on the 3rd refusal will you be put out of the tower. I myself cannot do it the first time here.
If you are doing this for someone else, you will fail. Do this for you. Or not at all. I'm ready.
I mentioned this today on the Dusty Wheel livestream, but I really think they're being very smart with their marketing by showing us things that feel familiar or directly pulled from the books. It's smart not to alienate the book fans with the marketing by showing too many changes. The dialogue in this Nynaeve scene is almost word for word from Book 2, The Great Hunt. However, in typical Robert Jordan fashion, there are many more paragraphs of exposition in the book. Also, in the book, Sheriam delivers most of these lines, but I like that they've given more of the dialogue to Leandrin and Lyanna as well. Just like yesterday's Logain clip, I feel like this new clip is a smaller part of a larger scene. In the trailer, we see Nynaeve entering the room through a large door, and obviously the scene will continue as Nynaeve enters the arches. There's a promotional image from a while back that shows her in just her shift or undergarments in this same room, and another shot from the trailer of Lyanna channeling into one of the archways while Nynaeve watches in only her shift. And we see her exit one of the archways with blood on her shift in the trailer and again in today's promotional teaser. So my guess is that we'll see this scene continue in the show, with Nynaeve removing her dress and then being told, "The way back will come but once, be steadfast." Then we'll likely see her fears play out in the different arches for what was, what is, and for what will be, just like in the book. I'm sure that her fears will be a bit different from the book, since she didn't have the same past experiences in Season 1 that she had at the end of Book 1. In the book, Nynaeve strips off all of her clothing, and then enters the first arch for what was. Also in the book, Nynaeve's fears of the past revolved around being chased by one of the Forsaken through a maze. This is directly related to a battle with Balthamel and Agenor that she had at the end of Book 1. From promotional images we've seen, it looks like she might instead return to the Two Rivers on the Winter Night Trolloc attack, and she might have to face her fears of trying to protect her village again. There are two shots from the Season 2 trailer that appear to show Nynaeve fighting off Trollocs with the One Power in the Two Rivers. As for her other fears related to the present and the future, I couldn't say what we'll see. There is this image from another teaser where Nynaeve has shorter, unbraided hair and she's standing in a field. I've always thought that this was part of her accepted test, but I couldn't say what's happening here. She does appear to have something in her hand which might or might not be relevant. Also, some people have theorized that this shot of Lan on his horse might be part of Nynaeve's accepted test. I won't go into great details about what happened to her in the book, but I will say that Lan was in one of her accepted test visions. When Nynaeve exits the first archway, an Aes Sedai pours clear water from a silver chalice over Nynaeve's head and says, "You are washed clean of what sin you may have done and of those done against you. You are washed clean of what crime you may have committed and of those committed against you. You come to us washed clean and pure in heart and soul." She then goes through the next arch for what is, and when she comes out, the Aes Sedai wash her clean of false pride and false ambition. The third time she enters an arch for what will be. While there, she channels the One Power while thinking of a blackthorn bush. When she exits, she has a long black thorn driven perfectly centered through each of her palms. Sheriam heals her, but scars are left on Nynaeve's palms. In the show, she appears to have 2 wounds on her abdomen. In the book, Nynaeve is washed clean by Swan Sanche, the Armerlin Seat, who says, "You are washed clean of Nynaeve Almira from Emond's Field. You are washed clean of all ties that bind you to the world. You come to us washed clean in heart and soul. You are Nynaeve Almira, accepted of the White Tower. You are sealed to us now." I noticed in a wide shot that there do appear to be 3 bowls or possibly chalices for the water on a table here. There's a better look in this shot later. I like that each one has a unique looking design. Speaking of unique designs, there's a unique texture on each of the 3 arches. The center arch, which I assume is the third arch for what will be, has a web-like texture that makes me think of multiple possibilities or paths leading out from the center. Nynaeve stands in the present, at the center, with many possibilities before her. I assume this archway in the center is the third for what will be because of the clip where Nynaeve exits this archway with blood on her shift. I assume that happens last, like in the book. It's harder to make out the designs on the other 2 arches, but this one on the left seems to have more flowing, almost vine-like lines on it. It gives me the sense of branching possibilities, similar to the crossroads we face when we make decisions that can branch off into different choices from our past. I think this is the first arch for what was, because we get a brief glimpse of it in the trailer, and based on where the Aes Sedai are standing, this is likely the one to Nynaeve's left here that she enters first. The archway on Nynaeve's right appears to be more chaotic in design, just as I assume the present is. The present is always so chaotic, like a bowl of spaghetti. Anyway, I could be wrong about which is which, but the thing that intrigues me the most about the arches is that the two on each side appear to be broken at the top. In the books, the silver arches are unbroken and are all joined together at the center of the chamber. I'm curious about why these two arches appear to be broken. I like how it feels more ancient, as if they're relics of the past, but I wonder if we'll ever get a direct explanation for why they look this way. I like the explanation on the Dusty Wheel livestream, that perhaps they're ruined from past experiences of accepted tests gone wrong. Perhaps a past trainee came out of the arches, channeling in a panic, and accidentally did some damage. I did have some concern when I noticed the broken arches in a previous trailer, that perhaps they were going to simplify the test for the show and have only one functioning archway. But thankfully Nynaeve says in the clip 3 times through and it's done, which solidifies for me that she will be going through all 3 archways. As for the rest of the clip, I loved how stoic and reserved the Aes Sedai were, even Leandrin, and I like that Lyanna looked a bit ashamed when she said that she wasn't able to go through on her first try. I was kind of surprised to hear a more typical British accent from Sheriam. I assumed she'd embrace her full-blown Kiwi accent for the show, but I'm still okay with this. I know some people wish that Sheriam looked more like her book description with red hair, but I love the silver-haired look, and I love Rima Tewiata as an actress, so I'm just happy she's in the show. I also like the more toned-down look of the Aes Sedai costumes. They still wear their Aja colors, but they're darker and more subtle than Season 1. One other detail, I like that there appear to be statues of Aes Sedai holding up the stone columns in this chamber. I like the visual concept of Aes Sedai holding up the foundations of the tower deep below. And that's all I've got for this clip for now, but I wanted to quickly say that I missed a huge detail from yesterday's Logain teaser. The shot where Rand is channeling in the promo shows Rand with the same blue robe and in the same location as the Logain scene, but Rand's undershirt is different. It's white instead of dark blue, and it has a different color. This actually excites me because it means we'll likely get more than one scene with Logain, unless of course Logain isn't in this scene when Rand is channeling, but I think he will be. Also, I wasn't sure in my video yesterday about whether or not Rand was a patient or a worker in the sanatorium, but somebody linked me to an interview where Yosha specifically said he's working in the sanatorium, which I wanted to mention. Thanks as always to my supporters, and thank you for watching, liking, and subscribing. Until next time, let the dragon ride again on the winds of Prime.